What's up, guys? I figure I'd do a video outdoors today, doing a little walk around the neighborhood. So I went to the auto show yesterday, and if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. I uploaded a video on the show, footage and photos. There's a lot of things I couldn't put up because there was way too many people yesterday. I actually forgot that the kids are still out of school until Wednesday. So I couldn't really, it was a lot more people there than usual. Plus, I also went later in the day. Normally when I go, like I went last year, but I was actually car shopping last year. So I went early because I wanted to get a chance to actually really look at the cars, sit inside of them and stuff like that. But this year I went just for recreation. I got some free tickets to go, so I stopped by. It was nothing there that I really went to go see, It was just kind of like a thing to do. Just wanted to check it out. But it was a lot of footage I couldn't put up because way too many people. So I'm gonna go down a list of cars that I thought stood out to me. I'm gonna start off with the American cars. I'm gonna go that way, and I'm gonna go over to the Japanese cars, the Asian cars, and I'm gonna go to the European cars. I started off at a Ford, I think. You walk in, it's like right there to the left. So I started off with Ford. Ford, me personally, they didn't really have anything new this year. I don't know what's up with the Ford GT. They had that last year, and I'm wondering what's taking them so long to release that car. I have no idea I think the last time I checked, it's supposed to be around $500,000. But I'm waiting for it to come out because I like the other Ford GT. The last one that came in the early 2000s. I like that one. And I like the old school one. But Ford didn't really have anything. I think the best car they still, as far as sports cars are concerned, was the the Mustang GT50R. And they kind of got overshadowed now with that car because there's a bike guy with a bike here. They got overshadowed this year because Chevy came out with the Camaro ZL1, and that kind of just blew the GT350R away, and then you had Dodge that came out with the Dodge Demon, which was like a more powerful Hellcat, and it's more of a drag car, which really doesn't make sense because, well, it does make sense, but the Hellcat is a drag car, It's not a track car. The Camaro ZL1 and the Mustang GT350R are well-rounded cars. You can drag them, you can track them. The Challengers were really never made for that, So, but it was still cool. The Ford really didn't have anything new. Like I said, they had the Ford GT, and they had the GT350R that's been out now. I don't know if they're gonna come out with another Ford, like a Mustang, like a GT500. I know the last time they made a GT500, they kind of made it right after Chevy released the what's it called, the ZL1, the last ZL1, okay, that had 580 horses. They released that as a counter to that right away, so it kind of shut down the whole ZL1. Now, it didn't shut down, but the GT500 definitely was faster. So I don't know what Ford plans to do. I mean, they're probably sitting back and waiting to see what Chevy does because they're direct competitors. I think Chevy. Let's go over to Chevy. Chevy, they got a lot of things going on right now. They have the new Camaro. I just got rid of my Camaro. I had a Camaro SS, the last generation, the 5th generation Camaro SS. The Bumblebee car, I had that one. And I didn't do too much work to it, you know. Me personally, it was kind of like an impulse buy. I had a Nissan 350Z convertible before that. I actually loved that car. The Camaro was fast, the SS was fast. I straight piped mine. It was fast, but everything was falling apart in that car, you know. It's just every little thing, like the knobs for the volume was knocked out, and one of the speakers went out really early. It was just nothing but problems. One thing that I liked about the Camaro that I had was it was a stick. Well, the last 2 or 3 cars I had were stick. The one thing I did like about it was that it was the clutch was good, because I had to hit 110,000 miles when I got rid of it, and I still had the original clutch on it. So I heard that they had good clutches. I remember when I had my 350Z, my Nissan, I think I burnt my clutch out at like 65,000 miles, you know, but I wasn't as experienced when I had that. I mean, I knew how to drive stick. I learned when I was like 16, but I never, you know, I wasn't really that experienced with it, especially with a sports car. So that's probably part of it, was probably my fault. But yeah, I had 110,000 miles on that Chevy, and the clutch was still great, you know. That's the only one thing that I did like about the car. But it was terrible on gas, and I daily drove it and commuted with it. So I kind of like that the Chevy Camaro, the new one. They look like I had sat in it last year. They look like they improved the interior. It looked better, like the quality of the materials looked a little better. So it was a good step up. And they're really, really fast, you know. If you get the SS, it's comparable to the M4 and the M3, which says a lot, you know, because usually BMW, M's and Mercedes AMGs are usually leagues higher than, you know, the American muscle cars, especially the M's, because the M's are always better on the track. But now you got all of these competitors up there, and you could get a Camaro SS, and it matches a M car, you know, both in straight line and around the track. So, you know, I mean, maybe down the line I might get another American muscle car, I don't know. But so Chevy, what else they had? They come out with the ZL1 1E, and I really don't get that, you know, because you know they're gonna come out with the Z28, and you don't really, it's hard to really tell where they're going with that, you know. It's like they made an extreme version of an extreme car. Like the ZL is already killing everything that's out there. It's beating supercars on the track, which is crazy. A Camaro that's beating most supercars on the track. It's very few cars that's actually faster than that thing around the track. So for them to make a ZL1 1LE, which is basically mean it's a track version of a car, of that car, because the Camaro SS has a 1LE, and now they made a ZL1 1LE. I didn't really get that, but I guess there's people out there that will buy it anyway. I wouldn't. I wonder what they're gonna do with the Z28. We'll probably get that next year, which will be a true track car, because they're gonna rip everything out of it. Probably not gonna have air conditioning and stuff like that. All right, so moving on, you had Dodge. So you had Dodge, and you had the Dodge Demon, which I really don't know too much about the car, because I know they have the skinny tires up front. So I know when it takes off, it does the lift and everything. That's cool. It has 840 horses, 770 pound-feet of torque, I think, somewhere in the 700s. So it has a lot of power. It does like 2.3 seconds off the line, 0 to 60. That's good. But how do you drive around that thing, you know, with those skinny tires in the front? I believe they come with wider tires, and I think the skinny tires are in the trunk, so if you want to take them out. But I thought it was going to be all-wheel drive, to be honest with you. I thought when I heard those numbers, I thought it was going to be all-wheel drive. But for them to get that kind of power in a rear-wheel drive car was very, very impressive. So good, good job with Dodge. I mean, they stick in for what they want to do with that car. They clearly don't want it to make a track focus Challenger. I mean, those cars are very big as it is, and they're very old. Those Challengers came out before the 5th gen Camaro and the last gen Mustang. I think the Challenger's been out since like 07. It's been like a decade since those been out. I mean, they brushed up on the looks, like the grill, and they updated it a little bit, but it's still really out of date. So I'm surprised it's still selling that good, for it to be out so long. I mean, me personally, I've been in those cars, and the interior is very, very outdated. Interior kind of sucks to me. Not the best seats, but for the money you're paying and the power you're getting, is a great bang for the buck. For the horsepower you're getting, it's a lot of horsepower. I think even the 392 SRT still comes with like 475, which is pretty good. They just don't. I remember I was looking up cars, and I saw that I remember I was looking up cars, and those cars depreciate in value very quick, and people don't keep them long. I was looking up Hellcats, right, just to be curious how much they cost. I was looking at cars last year a lot because I was trying to figure out what I'll get. I'll get more into that later. But I noticed that the Hellcats, the price dropped to them quick, and most of the ones that were used were under 10,000 miles, which is great for me, for the buyer. But they depreciate heavy. I was seeing some in the upper 40,000s, which is crazy, because I think a lot of people were paying at least 70, 75 to get their hands on that car. So that's a big hit for a car that most of them had only 3,000, 5,000 miles. Goes to say that I think a lot of people weren't happy with the car. I mean, it's fast, and just like with the Camaro, it was a fast car. It was great. It was great in a long straight line, but outside of that, the quality of everything inside was kind of weak. All right, so moving on. Me personally, if I had to choose between the three right now, the three American heavyweights, Dodge, Chevy, and Ford, I would go with the ZL1. And then there's also the option to get the Stingray Corvette, which is also another car that I checked out last year. But I'm 6'2". I'm not like a stocky guy. I'm not a big guy. But for tall guys, it's very uncomfortable, very tight. Felt very tight. I didn't like it, But anyway, moving on. So let's talk about. I didn't do too much with the Asian cars, the Japanese cars. I went and looked at Nissan. I saw that they had this Nissan 370Z Heritage, which was a disgrace. I don't know what they're doing with that. It looked very, very out of date. I don't know what they're doing with the Z's. I'm a big fan of Z's. I actually want to own like a 1972, or a 1977 280Z one day, like an older, or a 240, even older. I plan on getting one of those, a little bit down the line, not now, but just as my car to work on. I want to get one of those later, maybe another 5-10 years from now. I want to get me one. I could get one now, but You know, living in New York, I gotta really settle down before I get that. But I'm very disappointed with Nissan. I wonder what they're gonna do, because I see Infiniti got the Q50 and the Q, is it the Q60, the Q70, the two-door coupe, the new G37. They have that, but they changed it to the Q. It's not the G anymore. And I like it. They got the new, with the Red Sport that has like 400 horses, which is cool. And I'm hearing that they're coming out with a 500 horsepower one. So I'm just saying, like, why don't they just do what they normally do, take the same engine, make a new Z for it, you know? Now, this is what I don't expect. I don't expect Nissan to put all this horsepower like Ford and Chevy is doing. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe that's why the 370Zs is kind of like a car that's been forgotten, because I remember when I had the 350Z, and then Ford and Chevy started making these 400 horsepower cars, and it was hard for the 370Z to keep up with those cars. You know, they're coming out stock with 400 horses straight out the box, you know, and it's like, is Nissan going to go that route in order to keep up with these cars? You know, how are they going to be able to compete? You know, I mean, I think they should. As a fan of the cars, you know, I like the 370. It was cool. I like the most recent one, the Nismo Tech one. I thought when they updated that car, it looked pretty nice. But they just lack in horsepower, you know, and not only that, but the Z was always like a poor man's Porsche, you know, and they saved themselves because they were good on the track. Like, they cornered very well, much better than, you know, a lot at that time, you know, like the Mustangs and the Camaros. But now that's not the case, because the American cars are great. They handle very well now. So the Z is just kind of left out there. Then I heard that they were gonna, you know, make them, you know, downsize the engine and make them competitors with like the lower range cars, and not have them be there in the middle no more, which I doubt they do, but you never know. So I don't know what to expect, you know. I'll take a little seat. They had the GTR, which is, the GTR is pretty much is on its last days before they renew it completely. Can't wait till the new GTR come out. Those are great cars, man. That's a great car, and they're hard to get. That's a lot of money. Even if you can afford one, because I was looking at them, it's the maintenance that's the problem. If you get a GTR, you gotta expect to pay a lot of money for anything you have a problem with. You're gonna have to expect to pay a lot of money for. I mean, supercar range kind of money. You know, because you can make the payments. I looked them up, but I know someone that owns one. Pays a lot of money to get things fixed, man, and keep that car up. So I'm good with that GTR. What else was there? All right, so, you know, went through Acura. You know, they had the NSX, not really major there. Toyota, Honda, all those cars, nothing really major. Lexus, you know, I went through Lexus. Lexus had, they have the new, damn, I forgot what it's called. But it's supposed to be a direct competitor to the Mercedes SL class. Right, it's like a two-door car, and it looks very exotic. It's very nice. I just forgot what the name of it was called, but you know, besides that, everything else they have has already been out for a while. So let's talk like the European cars, right? Let's start out with Audi. Audi had the RS5 there. That was new. You know, they had the RS3 and the RS5. Now the RS5 looks like, I'm not the biggest Audi fan. I still am a fan of Mercedes and BMW over Audi, but Audi has done a lot. It's just that I like the last generation, the last look. I don't like this new look. Like, I don't like the new headlights to the TT, the new 5 series, the new what's it called, RX, the RS8, or the R8, I'm sorry, the R8. I don't like the new headlights. I still like the last generation look of Audi more. But I do like the interior better. They definitely have made it more modern looking. But I don't like the new headlights to their cars. That's just my personal opinion. The RS5 looks good. I think it's around the same amount of power and everything. They haven't really improved with that. But from what I've seen, I would still get the M4 or the C63 Benz before I get that, you know. And it looks nice, it does, but I just wouldn't get, I would get the Benz or the BMW before that car, as far as just strictly talking looks, you know. But if you like an all-wheel drive, if you must get an all-wheel drive car, I would go obviously get the RS5, because the M4 and the M3 are rear-wheel drive, and I believe the C63, whether you get the regular or the S, I believe both of them are rear-wheel drive too. I don't know if they have an all-wheel drive. Maybe they do. I can't remember. But the M4 I was definitely looking at. That was definitely one of the cars I was looking at. It's a problem with the M's. The M4 is, and the M3 is, they don't have an all-wheel drive option, you know, and I couldn't get that. But yo, yeah, Audi, you know, they had those two cars. You go over to BMW. BMW didn't have much there. Everything that was there has been released already. I got to see the new M550. I was kind of disappointed. I thought BMW was going to release the new M5 by now, and they haven't. So I got to see the M550, which is cool because that one is all-wheel drive. And from what they were saying, from the 0 to 60 is faster than the current M5 or the outgoing M5, which is pretty cool. I didn't like the last generation M5, the most recent one, the outgoing one. Didn't like that. I actually like the V10 one a lot. I missed that one. I like that body. I like that look. I like that engine better. You know, everybody's downgrading their engines now, and the naturally aspirated engines, and adding the turbos to every car. And I didn't like that last M5. I didn't even like how it sounded, because they had the sound go through the speakers, which was corny to me. So I really didn't like that M5. I love the M6 though. I think the M6 was a great looking car, especially the M6 Grand Coupe, which is about to get, they're about to renew that car soon. I like that Grand Coupe 6 Series. Definitely a nice car. But they didn't have anything there. Like I said, the M550 was something that I might get in the future. It's very fast. I think it has like 460 in the upper 400 horsepower range, and it's an all-wheel drive car. So I went there. It's nice. I like the new 5 Series. It looks like the new 7 Series, which I think it's the best looking 7 Series that BMW have done in a while. You know, I didn't like the last 7 Series. I think the S-Class was way better than the last 7 Series. Even the Audi A8 I like better than the last 7 Series. I thought BMW was in last place when it came to those, you know, those big size, those big cars, the big cars. But this new 750 is nice. I mean, it's really close between that and that S-Class, but the new 750 is really, really nice to me. I mean, it's a very good looking car. I know Mercedes is gonna refresh this new S-Class this year. They didn't have the new one there though. The new S-Class, I don't believe they had it there. But BMW, yeah, they didn't have much new. You know, they had all the M models. They had the M2. You know, they're sticking a badge, the M badge, on pretty much everything now. But they didn't have anything new. Now Mercedes had a lot. I think Mercedes was the last place I went to. They had the GT, the AMG GT-R, the new one. If you've seen the video, it's that green one. They had that. They had the new S650 Maybach drop top. I don't even know how much that costs. I didn't even bother to ask. You know, that car is probably at least 300,000. They had that well, you couldn't even go up to it. That car was crazy. That drop top Mercedes was insane. What else did Mercedes had? They had the AMG GT Concept, which was nice. They had the E-Class. Now I drive an E-Class. I drive a 2015 E-Class, and it's I have it like fully loaded. It has every option imaginable in it, and it's very good. It's very smooth. But the new E-Class, I don't like the body. I don't like the body that much. I think they, like, if you don't have this the AMG, it's kind of like, it looks too feminine to me. I don't know, you know, but the interior looks amazing. If you've seen the interior of the new E-Class, it looks just like the S-Class. It has the 2 screens, and it's a very beautiful car. So I love the new E-Class interior. It's just the outside of the car looks kind of weak to me, you know. So what else did Mercedes have? I think I just really wanted to check out the new E-Class, because I do drive an E-Class myself. But you know, that was I'm looking to try to get like an M or AMG in a few years. So other cars that I checked out, they had the Maserati, which is something I was checking out last year. The Ghibli, the 4-door one, the more affordable Maserati. They had that there. They had like this new black version with the red brake calipers. They look, the red big brakes, they look pretty cool. Problem I have with the Maseratis now, they kind of like downgraded in their interior and the quality of the cars. They made them more affordable. They're not as, I don't know, like, I always looked at Maserati as being an Italian car. It's very exotic. They don't really have that reputation no more, now that they become more affordable. And the cars depreciate in value very fast. Even if you look at the Maserati, the Grand, the 2-door one, the exotic one they have, they depreciate very fast. You have normal working people that drive around in those things, you know, because if you get you an older one, you could get you like a 09 or a 2010 one and not pay that much for it, you know, even with low miles. So what else did I see? I seen the Bugatti Chiron, which is one of the cars I wanted to see. It looks very nice. I never liked Bugatti before, but I like this one. I thought the 2 last Bugattis, the old one from the 90s and the Veyron. I never liked the Veyron. I mean, it's fast, but I thought it looked like a turtle to me. I don't know, but the new one looks pretty cool. Definitely like the new car. Lamborghini, they updated their Aventador. They gave it a new look. I saw the pictures before I went to the show. I didn't like it too much, but it looks much better in person. You'll see that in the video too. And that's it, you know. Porsche didn't really put anything out. Porsche are my favorite cars, by the way. That and Aston Martin. But Porsche is my favorite car, probably number 1. Because they perform better than Aston Martin. Porsche didn't really have anything new. They had a refreshed GT3. They had the refreshed Panamera, which is already out on the streets. You know, I love Porsche though. I like their whole lineup, man. I want a Porsche so bad. Oh, I want a Porsche so bad. I try to be so smart with my money and make sure I make the right good moves before I go. It's like when it comes to cars, I look at cars after everything is done. You know, I know people that as soon as they get some money, they get the car first and then worry about everything later. I'm the total opposite. I get everything late first and then get the car. You know, try to make smart business moves, you know, if I could stretch that money out long term. But anyway, I've been talking long enough. About to do a boxing prediction video. See you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoyed. Peace.